Now, let's go to the fourth conversation hook, the most people hook. Our fourth technique is the most people hook. This hook plays on our natural inclination to compare ourselves to others and our desire to stand out or belong. The most people hook works by making a statement about what most people do, think, or believe, and then either aligning with or moving away from that particular idea. It's effective because it immediately makes people reflect on where they stand in relation to the stated norm. For instance, you might say, most people think that learning a new language is incredibly difficult, but I discovered a method that makes it surprisingly easy. This approach not only presents an interesting topic, but also challenges a common belief, encouraging others to share their own experiences or ask for more information. You can use the most people hook in many different ways. To challenge assumptions. Most people assume that eating healthy is expensive, but I've found some budget-friendly ways to do it. To introduce a unique perspective. While most people focus on cutting expenses to save money, I've found that increasing income is actually more effective. To create a sense of exclusivity. Most people never discover this hidden feature in their smartphones, but it's incredibly useful. The beauty of the most people hook is its versatility. You can use it to align yourself with the majority. Like most people, I used to struggle with public speaking, but then I learned. Or position yourself as having some unique insight. Unlike most people, I found that waking up at 5 a.m. actually makes me more productive. When using this hook, be careful not to come across as preaching or superior. The goal is to spark interesting discussion, not to put other people down. Also, ensure that your most people statements are generally accurate or at least plausible to maintain some credibility. Next, let's explore the conflict hook. This technique taps into our natural fascination with disagreement, debate, and resolution. The conflict hook works by presenting two opposing ideas, perspectives, or groups, and highlighting the tension between them. It's effective because conflict naturally draws our attention and engages our problem-solving instincts. For example, instead of simply stating your opinion on a topic, you might say, there's a huge debate in the scientific community right now about whether artificial intelligence will benefit or harm humanity in the long run. This immediately sets up a conflict that most people would be interested in exploring further. You can use the conflict hook in various situations to discuss current events. The recent policy change has created a rift between environmental activists and industry leaders. To explore personal dilemmas. I'm torn between pursuing my passion and choosing a more stable career path. To examine social issues. There's an ongoing struggle between privacy advocates and those who prioritize national security. The key to an effective conflict hook is to present the conflict in a balanced way without immediately taking sides. This allows your conversation partner to engage with the topic and share their own thoughts without feeling defensive. Remember, the goal isn't to create or highlight real-world conflicts, but to use the concept of conflict as a springboard to more meaningful discussion. Be prepared to guide the conversation towards constructive dialogue rather than a heated argument. Our sixth technique might seem counterintuitive at first, but it can be incredibly powerful when used correctly. I'm talking about the silence hook. The silence hook works by intentionally pausing or creating a moment of silence in the conversation. It's effective because it creates a space that the other person often feels compelled to fill, either by asking a question or offering their own thoughts. For instance, after making a thought-provoking statement, you might simply pause and maintain eye contact. This silence often prompts the other person to respond or ask for more information. It's like creating a vacuum that naturally gets filled. You can use the silence hook in various ways. After asking a question, ask something thought-provoking, then remain silent to give the other person time to reflect and respond. To emphasize a point, make a strong statement, then pause to let it sink in. To encourage elaboration, when someone shares something interesting, stay silent instead of responding. They'll often elaborate further to fill the silence. The key to an effective silence hook is to be comfortable with silence. Many people feel uncomfortable with pauses in conversation and rush in to fill that silence. By staying calm and maintaining positive body language during the silence, you create a space for a deeper, more thoughtful, and engaging exchange. However, you must use this technique wisely. Too much silence can make a conversation feel awkward or like an interrogation. The goal is to create brief, purposeful pauses that enhance the dialogue, not extended silences that kill it. Now let's look at our final technique, which is the statement hook. This hook is straightforward, but can be incredibly effective when used well. The statement hook works by making a bold, surprising, or thought-provoking declaration. It's also called the amazing fact technique. It's effective because it immediately grabs attention and often prompts questions or comments from your conversation partner. For example, instead of asking, "What do you think about modern art?" you might declare, "I believe modern art is more about the idea than the execution." This statement is likely to get a response, whether agreement, disagreement, or a request for further clarification. You can use statement hooks in many contexts. To share an opinion, "I think travel is overrated," as a way to find yourself. To present facts, "Did you know that cows have best friends and get stressed when they're separated?" To challenge assumptions, "The most successful people I know don't actually work that hard." The key to an effective statement hook is to make it interesting and slightly provocative, but not offensive or alienating. You want to stimulate discussion, not shut it down. Remember, the goal isn't to be controversial for its own sake, but to open up new avenues of conversation. Be prepared to explain your statement and engage in a respectful dialogue about it. And there you have it, 7 powerful conversation hooks that can transform the way you communicate to help you become a much more effective conversationalist. From picking curiosity to creating purposeful silence, these techniques give you a versatile toolkit for keeping conversations engaging, meaningful, and enjoyable. Remember, the art of conversation isn't about dominating the dialogue or showing off. It's about creating a genuine connection, exchanging ideas, and learning from one another. These hooks are tools to facilitate that process, not an end in themselves. When practicing these techniques, you will likely find that some are more naturally suited to you than others. That's perfectly fine. The goal is to expand your conversational repertoire, not to force yourself into an unnatural communication style. Also, keep in mind that different hooks may be more or less appropriate depending on the context and your relationship with the person that you're talking to. A conflict hook might be great for a debate club, but it's not suitable for a first date. So use your judgment and adapt your approach as needed. Lastly, always remember that the most important aspect of any conversation is genuine interest and respect for the other person. All the techniques in the world can't replace sincere curiosity and empathy. So with that in mind, go ahead and practice. Try putting these hooks into your everyday conversations. You will be pleasantly surprised at how much more engaging and rewarding your interactions will become. If you enjoyed this session and would like to know more about how to improve your conversation skills quickly, be sure to get a copy of my research report, 5 Biggest Mistakes in English Conversation. I've done extensive research into the art and science of effective conversation. If you want to improve your conversation skills quickly, you need to get a copy of this report. Just go to the link in the description below to get your own copy. I know you're going to love this report. Put it into action and watch your conversation skills go through the roof. Thank you for watching this video on mastering conversation hooks. If you have found it useful, please like and subscribe for more conversation tips and techniques. And hey, why not leave a comment and share your favorite conversation hook? Let's keep this dialogue going. Until next time, it's Herbert Lee saying, have a great conversation.